just wanted to make a quick little video kind of explaining my gastric sleeve surgery a little more and why I had to get it, what I went through, and how I'm doing now, which I feel amazing. Can you not? So I'm gonna try to make it short and kind of sum everything up. I mean, I've written paragraphs on it on Facebook and under my pictures on Instagram and stuff, so I'm sure some of you guys kind of know already. But I had my son back in 2015. Before I got pregnant with my son, I was about between 155 and 160 pounds. I had my son. I went from, like, let's say 160 to 215 during my pregnancy. Mind you, I couldn't eat during my pregnancy. I had, like, extreme nausea, and I was, like, throwing up every day, every second of the day. My lifesaver was gum. That's it. I would eat gum all day and, like, just chew it because the mint helped me not feel so nauseous. So anyways, I gave birth to my son. I started losing weight. I got down from 215 to 190, which I think is pretty good within like a month's time. And then I noticed I was staying at 190. I wasn't losing any more weight. Mind you, I'm not a compulsive eater. I never was. I wasn't someone that just stuffed my face with food. If anything, I didn't eat enough. I would skip breakfast. I would skip lunch sometimes. And then when it came to dinner, I would have dinner and then I would snack because I didn't eat enough during the day. But even then, I was still going to the gym, working out, all that. I never had an issue with losing weight. I was really good at maintaining weight. So this was new for me. I knew something was up, but I was like, I just had a baby. My body's probably acting weird. And then about, I want to say between 6 months, from then to 6 months, in between that time frame, I noticed I was gaining a lot of weight. Like, I was going from a size small, medium shirt to a large, extra large. And for me, that was crazy because I've never been that size in clothes. So I'm like, okay. And the fact that it was happening so fast, and I went from, within 6 months to a year, I went from 190 to 265. And I went to around 230, and then I went up to 265, and then I was maintaining 265. And I was like, okay, something's wrong because for me and my height, that was big. I was feeling super heavy, super tired, really sick. I couldn't lay on my side because it would hurt my chest because of the weight. My knees were really feeling heavy because my body, like, even when I would try to work out, I was trying so many diets to try to lose the weight. It wasn't working. Even when I would work out, I would feel how heavy I was on my knees, and it was just bad. It was bad. And then I tried Herbalife. I noticed it was working for me. I would lose like 5 or 10 pounds, but then I would jump right back to 265. And I'm like, well, what is going on? I don't understand why I'm losing weight, and then within a few days, I'm jumping right back up to where I was. So I went to one doctor. That doctor told me, yeah, you just need to use MyFitnessPal. I'm like, okay, I already tried that because I had talked to my brother, and my brother had told me, the diet that him and his wife were doing, obviously 2 separate diets, but how they did it and how they measured and all that stuff. So I went and bought a scale. I tried all that. It wasn't working. And I told the doctor that. I'm like, I've tried that. It doesn't work. And she's like, well, maybe you're not doing it right. And I'm like, okay. So I went home, continued to try it. I was gaining. I wasn't losing. I even had my brother calculate my calories. I was trying. I was not losing. I was gaining. So I knew something was wrong, so I ended up changing doctors again. The same doctor told me, no, try MyFitnessPal or try Weight Watchers. I tried Weight Watchers. Did not work. instead of losing, I was gaining. And I'm like, okay, this is becoming a problem, because I know something's wrong. And so, sorry, my camera died. Anyway, so, where did I leave off? So then I was realizing just something isn't right. So I decided to call my old doctor that my mom used to take me to, which he is absolutely amazing. As soon as I went into his office the first day, he told me straight up, you're extremely overweight. Your blood pressure is high. We need to get you blood work. And I was telling him also that, you know, I can't lose the weight. I gained weight within this amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Like, so he was like, okay, well, we're going to get you blood work. We're going to check if you have diabetes, thyroids. Mind you, I missed this part, but with the other doctor, the second doctor that I seen, she sent me to get checked for diabetes and thyroids, and the test came back fine, which that runs high on both sides of my family. So I was thinking like, well, maybe that could be it, and it wasn't. So then he sent me for blood work, but he also put me on a diet for 3 months, a specific diet. So I tried the diet that he gave me, well, that he put me on. Didn't work. I was gaining. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem. I was like getting frustrated at this point because I'm like, okay, which by the way, the second doctor I went to, she even prescribed me phetamine. That didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. And she didn't prescribe me as much as like they normally would either, because she, you know, a lot of doctors just don't want to give phetamine, which is understandable. But anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. So, I went back to my doctor. He told me my blood work is fine. He's like, it's really weird. He goes, because your blood work is fine as far as the diabetes and thyroids and stuff like that. He's like, you just have really high cholesterol, which I expect because I was extremely overweight. And then he sent me to another doctor. And then when I went back to him, come to find out, which now that I think about it, they never told me. I actually found out from the nurse at the hospital that I have, that my pancreas was creating too much insulin, or that something like that. Like when your body creates a lot of insulin, you gain weight. And so, but I didn't have diabetes or thyroids. It was just an insulin problem that I was having, which was really weird. Like even the doctors are like, okay, well, so my doctor's like, well, you have 2 options. You can either get gastric sleeve surgery, which once you get the surgery, I mean, it changes your life. You have to take vitamins for the rest of your life. And it will, if not bring it 100% back to normal, it'll bring it pretty close to normal. Like my cholesterol, my insulin levels, all of that. He goes, or you cannot get the surgery and we just have to keep doing tests and figuring out what's going to work for you to stabilize like your insulin levels and do this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'll take the gastric sleeve surgery, because for 3 years I gained, well, in between 2016 and 2019, I gained tons of weight. And I was gaining more and more and more. Like it wasn't going away, and I was not going to risk continuing to gain weight, especially the way that I was feeling. It just wasn't good at all. So I told the doctor, I said, well, I'm going to go home and think about it, because gastric sleeve surgery, a lot of people think it's the easy way out or it's a simple surgery. No, it's not. And it's not easy, the process after it and the process before it. It is not. So I went home, spoke to my husband, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to get the surgery. So I called my doctor. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get the surgery. He scheduled me right away. He said within 6 months, I have to see a nutritionist every month for 6 months. And I can't gain more than 10 pounds within the 10 months. I mean, even though he said some people do and they still get qualified, but like pretty much to try and see if I can maintain the weight or whatever, you know. So like I was saying, so then I had to go get my heart tested, my lungs tested. Then they wanted me to go and do a sleep study, which was the worst thing ever for me. I don't like sleeping outside of my own home. It was really uncomfortable. And then having all those wires stuck to your head and having someone say, we have a TV, we have this, we have that, sleep comfortable, but you have a speaker right above you and cameras watching you. It's really uncomfortable. I got really lucky because I think it was about 8 hours you're supposed to stay at least, and I was there for only 4. But luckily when I fell asleep, I had a REM cycle, which having that one REM cycle or whatever, I actually lucked out, and the doctor told me that I'm fine. I don't have sleep apnea, all that, because if I did, then I would have to have the machine for me during my surgery, but I didn't. I don't have sleep apnea. So, thank God for that. And so I got cleared with all the doctors. Everything was good. Then COVID happened. I was so close to it was already March, and I'm like, yes, like I went to my last doctor's appointment. My last nutritionist appointment. I'm about to go to my doctor's in 2 weeks, get my surgery date, and I'm gonna get my surgery. No. COVID happens. And because of COVID, of course, which is understandable, but for me, I'm like, no, I had to wait longer. And I was so excited because I'm like, I'm about to finally be able to lose weight and feel normal and feel energized and back to myself. No, I had to wait from March to July, which still wasn't bad, but after waiting 6 months already and getting approved and everything and just being excited, I'm like, great. But everything happens for a reason. So I ended up 2 weeks before my surgery, I ended up having to get COVID tested. And then I had to get an endoscopy done, which for me, everybody's different. For me, it wasn't fun. I woke up and instead of my throat being sore, I had the worst cough ever. It was like if I just got a cold. Like it was the worst cough ever for about 4 or 5 days. Actually, for about a week and a half, because it went away literally the day before my surgery. So then a couple days later, I had to get COVID tested again, because then 2 days after that, I had to get my surgery. So July 9th is when I had my surgery. They had me go in, and I went to the hospital. They had me go in. They had me wipe myself with the alcohol wipes all over. They gave me the nausea patches. I don't know what it's called, but you can have it you could keep it on for about 3 days. That was a lifesaver for me because I get nauseous for everything when it comes to stuff like that. And then I just sat there. They were putting my IV in. For me, that sucked because my veins are really hard to find. So I had like a really big bruise here from my endoscopy, and they tried to stick me back there. Like with the IV, they tried to put it back where my bruise was, and it caused an even bigger bruise and a lump. Like it was bad, but they ended up putting an IV in my hand, and then they came in. Well, I seen my doctor. He explained, listen, in a few minutes, we're gonna go in. How do you feel? I told him I feel great. I'm excited. I'm anxious. I want to get it done and over with. So they took me into the surgery room or operating room, and I literally just remember laying there, and they put my arms like this. They were strapping me, and I remember looking up at the light, and that was it. And I knocked out. And then, okay, so when I woke up, I've researched like how bad the gas pains are because they fill your stomach with gas and all that stuff. After the surgery, I guess, my surgeon told me to make sure that there's no air bubbles or anything. Like they want to make sure I'm completely sealed so there's no leakage in my stomach, all that. So they took about 85% of my stomach out. So my stomach is the size of a natural banana, not like those big ones, like a natural size banana. That's the size of my stomach right now. So anyways, I was waking up and they had me like not laying flat. I was like more like this, if that makes sense. Like the back of the bed was a little bit up, like not all the way, not all the way down, like in between. I was in so much pain in my chest, to the point where I didn't cry, but I almost cried. And I was literally like speaking really loud, like, ow, 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 this hurts, this hurts, this hurts. It wasn't even my incisions. It wasn't my stomach. It was my chest. I'm like, this hurts. And the nurse is like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm in pain. It hurts. So I literally laid almost fully on my stomach. And I just had surgery there, but I don't care. I laid almost on my stomach because I needed the pressure to go away. Like, it hurt so bad. And the nurse is just watching me. And I'm like, ow. Like this. Oh, my little dog. Where's my doggy? Hi, mamas. Hi, mamas. I'm like bending so I can try to see her. So then finally the nurse comes up to me. And the nurse is like, how are you feeling? Mind you, she was sitting in front of me the whole time. And I'm like, I'm in pain. I would like to walk, because when you get gastric sleeve surgery, the best thing to do, and trust me, it works. The best thing to do is get up and walk. Just walk, 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 walk. The more you lay down, the more pain you're going to feel in your chest from gas pains. Me personally, I wasn't sore at all in my incision area. The doctors were pressing on it and everything, and I could get up and everything by myself, fresh out of surgery. Like, I felt fine. But everyone is different, but definitely walk. It helps. So finally, she gives me some type of medication. I don't know if it was to make me think I was better or whatever she gave me. I was like, whew. Like, I literally like took a deep breath and I'm like, okay. Then I was just chilling there. I'm like, I feel good now. So then they brought me upstairs to my room, and as soon as I got up there, the nurses and the doctors were ready to just leave me there so I could relax, and I was like, no, I actually want to walk. And the nurse is like, oh, okay. So we walked around, and then she's like, you can go sit down if you want. I'm like, no. I literally stood in my room I was there overnight, so within that whole night, even till the morning time, I was in my room for only 4 hours out of all the hours that I was there, because I was up and walking. And all the walking helped me use the bathroom, which was really good. So that helped me to get discharged from the hospital earlier. And I remember a doctor came in. He wasn't my surgeon. It was a different doctor. And he's like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I feel great. And he's like, okay, well, I came in. I think he was like a new doctor. I don't know. But anyways, he came in and he's like, can I look at your stomach? I had to lift my gown so he can like feel my stomach, whatever. He's like, how do you feel? I was like, I feel good. That doesn't hurt, nothing. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, we'll see how you're doing. We might have to keep you overnight. I was like, again? No. I was like, my surgeon's supposed to be here today? And he's like, yeah, he'll be in later. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, I'm not, no. So they took me downstairs. I forget what the drink is called, but you have to like chug this, I forget what it's called, but you have to like chug this nasty thing so they can like see how it goes down and like see in your stomach, make sure there's no leaking going on, all that. It was absolutely disgusting. And then they brought me back upstairs. I passed that. It was good. My surgeon came as soon as I got upstairs. He looked at me. He's like, you look great. He's like, you don't even look like you had surgery. And I was like, thank you. Like, I want to go home. So, because I hate hospitals. I don't care what it's for. I just don't like being in a hospital. It sucks. So he said I have to drink the water. So I had to drink 2 ounces of water within an hour. So I had to do 4 of those. Yeah, I had to do 4 of those little cups. excuse me, and I had to drink them within an hour. So the nurse came, she's like, oh, you're done? Okay, she gave me another one. Oh, you're done? Okay, she gave me another one. I did perfect. She's like, okay, well, we got the okay. We feel like you're doing amazing. You haven't had any issues. We haven't had to come in your room often, whatever. So they sent me home. That was my experience in the hospital. Literally, it was all that. That's it. Like, they didn't really bother me. The only thing I could say is, like I mentioned before, is the IVs. I don't know if it's where they put it, but when they would flush my IV, it was extremely painful. It burned so bad to where I told the nurse, I'm like, ow, no, please stop. Like, that hurts. And they had a needle here just so they can flush me there just in case. And she's like, here, let me try this side. And she did this side, and I'm like, ow. Like, no matter how slow she tried to do it, it just hurt, and it burned so bad. I couldn't wait for them to take it out. Like, it wasn't fun. But that was my experience in the hospital. It wasn't bad. I had to wear the, do I still have them? I don't think so. I had to wear the, I forget what they're called, like the compression stockings, because it helps like with blood clots and stuff like that, which is another reason why you want to just get up and walk. Like, even when you get, discharged from the hospital, walk. Like, it helps. Me, on the other hand, I don't recommend doing this, but as soon as I got out of the hospital, a couple hours later, we hopped in the car and came to Florida. So I went straight in a car for 18 hours. We obviously stopped in like, I think it was North or South Carolina. We stopped in South Carolina, because I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the pain. I still had gas pain. And you could get Gas X or other things for gas pain as long as your doctor approves. I ended up not getting that. I got that after staying in South Carolina, because I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. The pain was so bad. Literally, I would sit there. I would have to like try to sit a certain way so the pain didn't hurt as bad, and fall asleep, because it just hurt that bad. But everything else, as far as my stomach went, my incisions, everything, I was fine. Like, if I didn't have those gas pains, I would have been 110% like good. But I wasn't, because those pains were bad. Like, when people say the gas pain sucks, it sucks. But it's temporary, because after we got to Florida on a Sunday and my surgery was on a Friday. My surgery was on Friday. We got to Florida on Sunday. So within that time frame, by like Tuesday, I was good. Well, my surgery was actually on Thursday. My surgery was on Thursday. Friday, and then I woke up from my surgery. I had the really bad gas pains. But by like Tuesday, I was good. My gas pains were like barely there. I just felt good. And then I started doing, I couldn't go swimming until 3 weeks after seeing my surgeon. So definitely get that information from your surgeon before even going in a pool or any of that. You can't do any heavy lifting or working out right away. Even now, it's still iffy. My doctor said to do it slowly. So I've just been going in the pool and doing like full body workouts in the pool. And then I work out at home with my weights, and I use like my staircase to work out. Don't mind my bed. To work out and stuff like that. So it's been really working for me. I have to drink 64 ounces of water minimum a day. I have to have minimum 60 grams of protein a day. Those two things is what helps really lose the weight. This surgery is more of a tool. It's not a magic surgery. Like, when you go, even getting lipo and stuff like that isn't a magic surgery, because you still have to eat healthy. You still have to maintain that, or else you're gonna gain, and same thing with the surgery. Even though they cut off 85% of my stomach, if I don't follow strictly the directions that the surgeon gave me, I will gain weight. The only difference is that I can still have a chance to lose it now, because my insulin levels are now back to normal. And that's what was stopping me from being able to lose weight without the surgery. So now that I got the surgery, I'm now able to lose weight normal. The only thing is the surgery is like an extra tool that helps me. So as long as I'm getting my protein intake and my water intake a day, I'm losing weight. I'm 3 months post-op and I've lost 43 pounds already, which is amazing. I still have about 70 pounds to go, but my goal is to get there before New Year's. And I feel and I know that I'm going to get there, so I'm excited. But you have to set goals for yourself and really follow the diet. So every surgeon's diet is different. I can no longer have soda for the rest of my life. Anything carbonated I can't have for the rest of my life. No pasta, no rice, no bread. After 3 months you can, but for me, I noticed rice I can no longer eat anymore. Pasta, I can have maybe like 5 pieces of noodles and not even, and I'm stuffed. And you have to take 30 minutes to eat your meal. You have to wait 30 minutes in between a meal and a drink. You can no longer eat and drink at the same time. And I know some people with gastric sleeve, their doctors tell them different. Some people with gastric bypass tell them different. This is what my surgeon told me, and what's been working for me and my surgery and my experience. So, bread, I don't really eat because it doesn't sit right in my stomach, because all those things expand in your stomach. So one, it can cause you to stretch your stomach out again. I don't know what that was. It causes you to stretch your stomach out again, but also it just really, it blows up in your stomach, like it expands and it makes you really full. So why do that when you can just eat something healthy and not be as full, but be satisfied? Like, you don't want to eat until you're full. You want to eat until you're satisfied. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I have to do. I can only eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No snacks in between. The only thing I can have in between is my protein shakes and my water. If I do want a snack, I have to have it with a meal, which means I have to cut my meal in half. So the normal small portion size that I would eat, I'd have to cut that a little smaller, in half or just a little smaller, to fit my snack if I really want a snack. But I cannot snack before or after my meals. It has to be during if I really want to. You got to be careful with sweets and stuff like that, because you do get this thing called dumping syndrome. I've experienced it twice because it's a learning experience, and I don't know, I was just like, oh, okay. like one happened with pasta for me, and another one happened with sugar, like having I forget what I ate. I think it was a piece of cake, and it's not like I'm not eating sweets anymore, but it was like I think it was for my birthday. I had a piece of cake, but I ended up getting dumping syndrome, which like was not good for me. It makes me feel extremely tired right away. It's painful. I feel like I have to throw it up. Like whatever's stuck right here, I have to throw that up. And then my mouth starts getting like extremely filled with saliva, and it's just like crazy. But you can Google dumping syndrome. It's all different types of symptoms that happens, and it's painful. So be careful and watch what you eat, definitely. And just really, I don't know, this whole experience for me has been, I'm grateful for it. It's been hard, but I'm grateful, because obviously you have to break habits that you grew up having when it comes to eating and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. This whole experience for me has showed me, one, appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself, because before I went through all this, I was 155, 160 pounds. I will put a picture in the video right now. And I was perfect the way that I was. I just had to tone up and eat healthy. But instead I was like, I'm so fat, I'm so fat, I'm so fat. Even if people were like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am, I'm fat. Appreciate yourself, because this was a whole new level for me. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. I mean, hey, if you're happy in your own skin and you're good, cool. For me, this weight was too much for me. It's not something I was used to. It's not something that I liked. I didn't feel good. It wasn't even about me just being skinny and, you know, like, I wanted to feel good and I didn't feel good. I felt sick all the time. I was getting sick all the time. I felt tired. I felt nasty. I wasn't comfortable in my clothes. Like, it's just not, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, this has made me realize to just love yourself a little more and appreciate where you're at. And if you're not happy, just change your eating habits, change how you feel, because complaining about it, one, isn't going to do anything. And that's one thing that I always stuck by, is if I complained, I tried to do something, but obviously I couldn't lose the weight, so forth. But when I was smaller and healthier, I still chose to eat tons of chips and this and that and that and that and that, skip breakfast, skip lunch, and then I'm over here like complaining about the little pudge that I had on my stomach that I could have just ate healthy and worked out and got rid of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's going on with you is different than what's going on with me. So keep that in mind when, like, you look at all these people on Instagram and you see their bodies and you see this, like, don't focus on all that. Focus on you, your needs, your wants, what your body needs. Like, that's what's important. So, just don't compare yourself to anybody else. Seeing people's results and hearing their stories are absolutely amazing. And like I said, if you're thinking about getting it or you're going to be getting it soon, good luck to you. And just remember, walk, and just follow what your doctor tells you, and your results will be amazing. And it'll be worth it. The journey will be worth it. It'll be hard, frustrating sometimes, but you're going to be so happy with the end result. So just remember that. And yeah, so that's really it about my story. It was a struggle trying to lose the weight and then gaining it and then losing a little bit and then gaining it and not even having thyroid or diabetes. It's just my insulin levels being all haywire and crazy. But I'm thankful that, you know, I was able to go through what I went through and be able to get this surgery. So I'm grateful for it. Just be grateful for things in your life and trust in God and trust that no matter what, He got you and you're good, and that's it. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please, if you liked my video and you want to see more on my health journey and just other things, because I just have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do for my YouTube channel. Please make sure to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned for more videos, guys. Thank you.